It's Friday around 2 p.m. and this is our, I don't know, fifth or sixth installment of Live with the Zero DTE. And today was a very interesting day. Let me give you the premise of what we do. Most Zero DTE based strategies are looking to immediately try to capture the profit, and they'll, in other words, they'll try to figure out where the range is going to be with the S&P and place an iron condor around that range, or maybe start off with a credit spread and then try to collect the premium as the day moves on. But hardly any of these services actually bring you to the end of the day, only in rare cases. And in all other cases, those positions would be losing trades. They also take on an undue amount of risk versus the profit that they're trying to collect in as premium decays. So what we do is something very different. We take the inverse approach, take very little risk for the possibility of making that a very large profit. So while the other people are trying to, I just realized I need to have the microphone in front of me. There we go. Sorry about that. So we take the inverse approach. So we take the inverse approach, where we're more focused on the probability of touch. In other words, we look for way out of the money calls or puts, or way in the money calls or puts, whatever the situation be, it doesn't really matter. And take a very small amount of risk, and then look at the volatility of the S&P, which is quite substantial. I mean, in most days it will move, on average 30, 40, 50 points, and some days it will move 100, 120 points. In that movement is profit, right? So if we can pick the direction, which we can do on a fairly consistent basis, let's say more than 80% of the time, then we can put on a spread, or even just a simple long call or a long put in the direction of that movement with very little risk. Now, the spread obviously will allow us to attenuate that risk down to something very small. In most cases, we can get on the order of 1x risk to 10x max profit. Now, getting that max profit is important because that will determine, depending on how fast we move earlier in the day, that probability of touch will allow us to gain a lot of profit. And in most cases achieve, anywhere from 100 to 200% of the risk that we're taking on. Now, this is, like I said, an inversion of the risk that most people are doing with the Zero DTE. And this is exactly what happened today. Now, the other thing that I do is, and that I profess in our service, is using the futures, the options on futures for the S&P, the E-mini S&P, so that we can take positions much earlier in the session. And typically what we'll do is we'll take positions sometimes as early as late evening on the previous day, which is in fact the same session. And we can collect a lot of credit that way, a lot of credit, sometimes 12 hours of future credit that you wouldn't be able to get. Now, this is assuming that we're in a credit spread, right? That you could get if you opened up the SPX at market open at, say, at 9:30 in the morning, where we could start the trade at 9:30 the previous evening. Now, or at any time in between. Or if we get enough movement in the overnight or the Globex session, we can work on our probability of touch once we've entered the trade, that it's moved in our direction, and then take profit before the cash session even opens. And in most cases, this will afford us about anywhere from 100% of the risk in terms of profit. So if you take into account the commissions and the max loss, that probability of touch, that probability that price will move into our profitable zone, will on average give us about 100 to 200% return. So that's pretty significant when you consider, hey, look, I'm putting up $25 and I can make $50 or $75 or more. With the possibility that we'll get a trending day and allow it to move all the way into our profitable zone, which could potentially give us 10 times the profit. And if we lose, okay, so we lose a very small amount. On average, we're winning about 80% of the time. And of that 80% of the time, about 70% or 3/4 of those wins, well, maybe a little bit more, maybe 80% of those wins are of the minimal nature. You know, that probability of touch where we can collect about 100, on average, about 150%. About 5 or 10% of that time, maybe 15%, we can go deeper into the trade, and because it's a trending day or highly volatile, and end up making 200, 300, and if we're lucky, bring it all the way into the profitable zone and make up to 1,000% profit with relative to risk. The other really great reason why this is such a great way of trading is that there's no stress. We don't have to institute stops. We do not have to sit here and tightly manage our trades. All we have to do is just wait for that probability of touch to take place. And look, if we miss the direction, which we don't miss that often based on our analytical methods, then the loss is very small. We could even start again. We could maybe take a trade in the opposite direction and either make up that loss or turn it into another winner. So in either case, the idea of taking these asymmetric trades with very little risk, with high potential profit, is really a winning strategy with zero DTE. And if we can move into the profitable zone, and particularly if we can move into the profitable zone relatively early, then we can take advantage of the exponential premium decay. So overall, it's I think that this particular strategy, in every way that you look at it, and particularly with the IP that we add to it, that gives us a higher probability of choosing the direction and the magnitude of that direction, gives this particular strategy, there's no comparison between this and what other people are doing with zero DTE. It is orders of magnitude, not an order of magnitude, but orders of magnitude more effective than the current way most people are doing zero DTE. If you're interested in making money with no stress, and you want to learn our analytical methods that give us a high probability of putting a trade on where a probability of touch is very high, of making 150% on your risk, then join us. The link is below. You can go to asymmetricadvisor.com and sign up. There is an initial sign-up fee, and that is and that initial sign-up fee, it covers the coaching, mentoring, and intense training and support that we provide in our live Discord room, our live private Discord room. And we do weekly seminars for all our members and go over our previous week's work. We also have intermittent training and coaching sessions, including one-on-one training sessions. So that's what that initial fee covers. I mean, this is incredible value compared to what you would pay for any kind of educational materials, and particularly if it's one-on-one coaching, it would cost you 10, 20 times as much as what you're paying. And here, you're getting involved in a service where there are a bunch of other like-minded people that are looking for no stress way of trading and making decent profit. So I guess that's just about it for what I have to say. Today was, like I said, it was a great day. We ended up with good profit from last night's trade and this morning's trade. And if you had the gumption to maybe put on 2 contracts and you took the early trade and you made yourself 150%, maybe 200% profit, and then you had the other one that you let go. Right now, it looks like that other one is not going to be profitable, although there's still time in the market, but it's highly doubtful that within the next hour and 45 minutes that everything's going to turn around and break to new highs. Okay, so you lost you made 2 and you lost 1. So that's pretty darn good. All right, let's see. We have a couple of questions. Let's see. Okay, yeah, mic closer. Yeah, so now the mic's closer. Do I stand with what? I'm sorry. Crypto Yo, I don't know, who you are, but that's a nonsensical question. But anyways, that's the show for today. Wow, the market has really turned around. That is intense. We had such a strong move up from yesterday when the session opened, which was actually last night. And see, that's really that's the advantage of trading this way. If you opened up this morning, it would have looked like, if you were in another service, it would have looked like we had a strong day, and it looked like it was going to break out above a certain level, the 39.20 or the 39.30 level, and it hit that level, and now it's just completely reversed. Now, in that case, you would have been, if you were in an iron condor, you would have threatened both sides of that iron condor, and most likely have been stopped out if you're using this 3x the credit that you receive methodology. So you would have been stressing out the entire day. You would have hit your max loss, and you would have been frustrated. In our case, we put a trade on last night, collected 200% profit, got out, entered again this morning, collected, if depending on how many contracts you put on, collected another 150% profit, and then let the other one ride. So, there's no comparison, really no comparison. Let's see. Alex is saying, take advantage of the crypto bull market for now rather than picking up pennies selling. Yeah, well, that's actually not true. This methodology of selling, in terms of relative risk and reward, is actually making way more than the crypto market. Now, I understand that if you we're doing if you're a hodler and you bought a while ago and wrote it all up, which, by the way, I have done, So that, that's not even an issue. But you actually make more money on your, from a risk adjusted point of view with a system like this. And not everybody is involved in crypto. Okay, so let's say you are involved in crypto and you've done well. What are you doing with the profits? Have you actually realized any of those? Are you taking at least half off? Anyone invested in, say, Ethereum over the last several months has done very well, and you've done well, pretty good with Bitcoin as well. But in my advisory service, we've done equally as well as Bitcoin, and just trading in stocks. So everybody has their own poison and what they like. But to think that you have the, if you're trading crypto, that you have the ultimate advantage is kind of short-sighted. Crypto's very cool. I don't know if it's going to be something that will be a part of our future, or if Bitcoin becomes the world reserve currency. I doubt it highly. And it's been a good run. What you should be doing is realizing some of that profit and then letting the rest ride, right? Why wouldn't you do that? Because you can't buy anything with your crypto until you realize the profit. All right. Can I go over today's trade? Early trade, perhaps. Yeah. Let's see here. So all right. So this is the analytical screen showing exactly what the trade was that or the two trades that I had put, or two of the trades that I had put on. And one was a put credit spread, the other one was a call debit spread. And with both of them, now it's later on in the day, and I've already taken profit from these, but this is showing the the relative position of it today, or at this very moment. We get in way down here, or, way out here somewhere, right? And when we get in, the T0 line, this purple line, was moving up, and it was at a sharp angle. And so as price moved into that purple line, already took profit. So we've already entered and exited this trade a couple of times. And as you can see, now volatility is starting to kick in, and the calculations for the T0 line are going crazy. But if you look here, look at the max loss on two separate positions total is only $22. One was $10, the other one was $12.50. All right? But look what the potential max win would have been. It was $477. All right? $22, $400. That's 2,000% greater. All right, but it didn't have to go all the way into the max profit zone. All it had to do was take advantage of today's volatility and move up, while that T0 line was still up, and when we took profit, is to move up, 10, 20, 30 points, which it did, and take profit there, which ended up being one trade 100% of profit, another trade 200, 150 to 200%, depending on where you got in or got out. Now, prices reversed and come back down to here. Like I said, we started way over here to the left. But it had the opportunity of breaking out again and into this profitable zone. And had it done that, then we would have done nothing again and let one of our contracts ride. Now, one of my contracts I left on, and it was max loss. Max loss of, I think, $12. But it had an opportunity to sit here in the profitable zone and make $220. So that's the difference. That is the real the real difference, this way of trading, as opposed to, say, putting on an iron condor, which you would have failed at. Most definitely you would have failed. It would have moved to one side of your, and challenged your right side leg, your call leg, and then it would have reversed and then challenged your, which you would have been out of the trade before you even got in, before you even had a chance to profit. And then it would have come all the way back down and challenged your put spread had you stayed in it. And in both cases, you would have hit your 3x max loss and lost. And you would have been sweating it the entire day. And it would have been a losing day. The thing is, you can't use a neutral strategy in a market that is not neutral. The S&P by no means is a neutral market, and it's not going to be a neutral market for a long time. You might get lucky and get days where you have an inside day and it doesn't move very much, and you might make a little bit of profit. But most days you're going to be sweating it out with 10 times the risk and hoping that you're going to be able to scalp out a little bit of profit. And quite frankly, most people who are doing this type of strategy anyways are, if they are in an iron condor or an iron fly, they're looking to get out quick, and if they can collect 25 or 30% of the max profit, they're going to get out soon. Now that 25 or 30% of max profit, based on the total risk that they're taking, is like 1/10 of the risk. Right? So it's, like I said, it's the complete inversion of what we're doing. They're looking for 1/10 the profit with 10 times the risk. We're looking for 1/10 the risk for 10 times the profit. So now, and also in our probability of touch, if price moves a lot, that benefits us. It doesn't detract from us, and it doesn't threaten a stop. All it does is give us an opportunity to get out of the trade with a profit that is typically 100 to 200% of the risk that we're taking. So, I don't know. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Let's see, are there any other questions? No longer trader of the futures, trader of options. Actually, trader of both. So now I'm trader of options and trader of futures. I am trading options on futures. So there you go. Hey, you got to do what makes sense, right? I mean, I still trade futures, and I've been a trader of futures for 2 decades. But this makes a lot of sense. You're always searching for a strategy that will put you in your comfort zone, and this is definitely within the comfort zone, and it works for this style or this character of market. We have the Fed, implementing their QE and their TARP programs and anything else that they're doing, and the price it's just going to keep on going up until they totally overinflate us to oblivion, and then it's all going to fall apart. Now, I don't know when that's going to be. Everyone's been talking about that for 2 decades. It might be this year. It might be next year. It might be 10 years from now. In the meantime, why not just take advantage of the landscape that they're painting for us? All right. So, anyways, if you would like to learn, as I said, about this strategy and how to make money as much as, on average, 200% of the money that you put up, then join us. Taking new memberships, and we've got about 150 people in here right now in the various services, so you won't be alone. And it's a good bunch of people, good like-minded people. All right, that's about all I've got to say. I don't know if there are any other questions. Doesn't appear to be. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on Monday. Actually, we'll see you on Sunday evening, because that's when our 0DTE session starts. Take care. We'll beat up Bob next week, by the way. Gonna have a good Bob beating. That's Bitcoin Bob.